All right, Sergio just wants to identify when the volume is greater than the 14 period average of the volume there. All right, so let's see. I'm not sure you can actually use the volume up down indicator. Well, you can, but it's probably going to be a lot more complicated. So, all right, let's take a look here. All right, let's get that indicator on the chart. Let's see. All right, so I'm just going to put the volume on there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Volume up, down. There we go. All right, I was wondering why I wasn't seeing it. And let's add a couple of volume MA indicators as well. Where did that go? There we go. All right, add a couple of those. So, all right, let's just take a look at the volume or the vol indicator, right? So under the plots here, right, we can see it just has one plot, for the volume there. And the volume up down, it has two plots. All right, so if you're going to work with an indicator that's using two plots, right, so that way you can get two different colors, then you're going to have to build twice the number of solvers. Yeah. All right, so let me finish setting up. Let me finish setting up the indicators here. All right, there you have it. All right, so let's get BloodHound open and start building here. So first thing I'm going to do is put in today's workshop date and 16. There we go. All right. So just to kind of recap here, we're simply going to identify whenever the volume is greater than the volume MA line there, right? So all these little volume spikes here. Okay. All right, so we'll give this logic template some kind of a name there. And so what we're doing is we're taking the volume indicator and comparing it to the volume MA indicator and seeing, does the volume indicator have a greater value, right, than the volume MA. So to do that, we're going to use the comparison solver. And let's give this a name here. There we go. All right. So input A will be the volume. And actually, with the solvers here, we could actually use the volume input type, right? So, the volume is one of the few direct input types here. So that way you don't actually have to load in the indicator if you don't want to. So I'll go ahead and do that instead of loading in the volume indicator. And then for input B, that will be the VolMA indicator. And let's see if I can find it. There we go. All right. And of course, if you're using a different period, there you go. Make sure to adjust the period. So, and of course, there's only one plot, so we're good to go there. All right. And so the initial, output rules here are just going to be, right, if you have a a volume that's greater than the average, you're going to get a long output. And if the volume is less than the average, you're going to get a short output, right? So we need to go in and adjust the outputs here to identify that greater volume only, right? Right, so when you're comparing something, right, the default is you get a long output when input A is greater than input B. But in this case, right, volume isn't indicative of market trend direction. So from that standpoint, we need to switch these conditions both to greater than. If I hit apply, there we go. So now we're getting a long and a short output whenever the volume is greater than the volume average. So that would be the simplest way to do this there. Now, if for some reason you insist on using the volume up down, well, that's going to take a bit more work here. So I'm going to make a copy of the first node there. Take a little shortcut here. There we go. So this time we're going to use the volume up down indicator. So let's put the input A type back to indicator value. And now let's go load in the volume indicator. There we go. There's the volume up down. Right. Now we can see, right, we now have two plots that we have to deal with. So, right, and you can't pick too long and too shorts, right? So, so we'll just leave it on the up volume here. And so when we look at the chart, and shrink that up, right? So we're only getting an output on the up volume bars, right? So now you'll need another solver so that you can get an output for the down volume bars. So now we have to actually, let's, yeah, well, before I change the name on that, okay, let's copy this one and paste that down there. All right, so this is going to be for the volume up. This solver here is going to be for the volume down. There we go. All right, so let's go into the volume up down indicator, and this time we'll pick the other plot. So, all right, and there we go. So now we can see, right, whenever the volume for the down volume, the red ones, there we go. Now we get an output on those bars. And then lastly, we now need to connect those together using an OR node. There. Right, and there we go. So now we can see the output for both the up bars and up volume, I should say, and the down volume together, right? So now you can actually physically see why I said using the up down volume indicator requires twice the work, right? Because the plot is split into two plots. All right. So the simplest solution, right, is just set the input A type to volume and then input B to the volume MA indicator. And again, remember to go into the rules here and set both of them to greater than, or maybe you're looking for the opposite and you want to know when volume is less than average, then obviously you would just reverse the condition there. But the point is, set the long condition and the short condition both to the same. So, all right, so there you have it, Sergio. And all right, looks like Sergio has some follow-up questions here. Okay, yeah, so we did the volume indicator. So, all right, looks like Sergio is squared away now. Okay, good.